Welcome to episode 2 of Sick Flicks.
Is it episode 2?
It is episode 2
right.
Because we had our pilot episode and then we had the bonus episode. So
Yeah,
technically,
this
this
is our
episode
fourth
2.
episode, but it's the second episode.
Second episode. I'm Mike.
I'm Dalton. Mellow Greetings.
Mellow greetings to you all. What seems to be your boggle?
These movies, they're boggling my mind, brother.
We have an awesome show for everybody. I just, before we get into it, just wanted to say thank you for everyone that's been listening and has messaged us or come up to us at the Highland or on the street.
Yeah.
and a
lot of nice feedback from
very,
people.
very great. Yeah, very good.
Love to hear that you guys are checking out some of the movies that we're talking about. Money Train, I've heard so many people going,
seems to be a
I'm
little
checking
hit.
out Money Train because I heard you guys talk about it, and that's really our only goal. Our goals are to have you watch for the first time or rewatch these awesome movies and get a sponsorship from Tubi. Those are the only two things that we want.
So yes, thank you to everybody who's been listening, whether it's been on Radio Western 94.9, which you'll hear a cut version, or on the podcast platforms, which we're dropping on Thursdays.
Yep.
We are just still doing this once a month. PTA was a little bit of a
little exception. We might every once in a while just like we get
might
excited about something we want to talk about. We want to kind of stay. We're both very busy people.
Yeah.
And I would love to do this show like every week.
Yeah.
Because we have such a long list of movies we want to get through.
Dude, if Tubi's paying for it,
yeah. If Tubi wants to give us some money, we'll do this every week for you.
Yeah,
if someone out
absolutely.
there knows a Tubi contact, let them know.
Yeah, we'll do it.
We'll do it. We talk every day about a new episode. Let's do this for an episode. Let's do this. And then we revisit some of our early ones, and then we go, yes, that will be. And so we have a lineup for a little bit.
For sure, we do.
But then I get really excited, I'm not gonna say what it is, but the next one that we're gonna, I was just like, I just want to do that immediately because I'm
maybe
so
we'll
jazzed
tease it.
on
I thought maybe we would tease it at the end of the episode.
Yeah,
so
it makes sense. There's a connection,
and it might be cool for people to maybe check out the movies before we drop it.
Yeah,
next
that's
month,
a good idea.
You know?
That's a good idea.
So sometimes we won't know what we're doing, but we definitely know what we're doing next month. So
we're jazzed about it.
Yeah. Speaking of what we're doing today,
we're also jazzed about these.
Dude, these two movies are definitely part of my core sort of movie fandom, if you want to call that, or the growth into movie fandom. Specifically, Demolition Man, which is going to be the first film we're going to talk about, and then we're going to move into and talk a little bit about The Running Man. That is the original film with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and we thought it pairs well for a bunch of, which we'll get into, a bunch of different reasons. But also, there's a new version coming out here in November. So
we love those algorithms.
Yeah, we do. So we try to get a few more listeners.
I'll say that when in the same way that Unstoppable and Money Train were like kind of the reasons that this show exists. I would say at least Demolition Man.
Dude.
Is one that we talked about so much.
Yeah.
We're because we went back and forth for a long time. We had a lot of different pairings with this movie, and then I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago that we decided that
landed on it.
That we want to do it, and I'm very excited that we get to talk about these movies because it didn't seem like Demolition Man was going to happen because we couldn't get that pairing right.
Right, and then of course this is being released in October, so we were trying to find horror movies, and then we just said, you know what, fuck it, dude.
Yeah,
you know
this is a show about sick flicks. We don't have to categorize them or whatever. Let's just, as long as they're sick, it fits.
It fits.
And
is Demolition Man sick?
No, it's so fucking sick.
You are fined 1 credit for a violation of the verbal morality statute.
My name's Dalton, and I'm Mike. My name's Dalton. You know what's sick?
He's a criminal the likes of which you have never seen. In a bad time, he was the worst.
I'm gonna love running this place.
But in the year 2032,
This morning, Simon Phoenix escaped from this cryo facility. We are, quite frankly, not equipped to deal with the situation.
amidst a world of peace and calm,
We're police officers. We're not trained for this kind of violence.
How was the fiendish Simon Phoenix apprehended back in the 20th?
In the end, it took just one man, John Spartan.
You mean the Demolition Man?
two mortal enemies
Just dropped in to say hi.
from another time.
Pass is over, John. Time for something new and improved. Oh, hell.
Will be unleashed on a future that isn't big enough for the both of them. Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, Demolition Man.
So this movie comes out in the early 90s in 93, and it stars some important people in our lives.
Man.
Sylvester Stallone, obviously, Wesley Snipes, who was featured, of course, in Money Train.
Yes.
Dennis Leary, Rob Schneider makes an appearance.
He does. Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock is one, and
She's really good in this,
she's
too.
unbelievable in this movie.
Yeah.
And this is pre-Speed.
Yeah.
Okay, the movie, not the drug.
You beat me to that.
Yeah. And we'll talk a little bit more about Sandra Bullock for sure in this movie. You know what? One thing that really pisses me off. Okay, and this is just a side note. Okay, so this will probably not be in the Radio Western version. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I really, really fucking hate is on podcasts, specifically movie podcasts, where people are like, we're really going to do a deep dive into this,
No,
and then
we're not.
and then they spend 5 minutes talking about it, or they spend 30 minutes talking about surface level stuff. I'm like, it's in the same vein, the same energy as that is. I have so many questions about this. I know for a fact you have 2 questions. Do you know what I mean? Like, so many hosts are like, oh, like, I don't even want to get into it. I have so many questions about it. No, you don't. You have maybe 2 questions. You have 2 questions, dude. Just ask the 2 questions. You don't have an infinite amount of questions about it. You just don't.
No.
About whatever movie you're talking about.
Demolition Man.
Oh, that's so complicated. You know what? That's so complicated. I don't even want to get into it. Dude, it's not complicated. I guarantee you it's not complicated.
I have
You
one
know?
question about the
You
Demolition
can tell I'm
Man,
hot about it, though.
and it's, how the hell do those seashells work?
Well, I mean, that's great, right? Is what one of the great things about this movie, aside from the cast, which I just mentioned, is the amount of, and dude, you have notes for this episode, right?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, I also have the most amount of notes.
To the listeners, I don't usually bring notes.
No.
I'm a very off the head kind of guy,
Yeah.
which you might catch by a lot of long pauses that I do. But Mike, he normally you have a couple notes.
I'll just have a couple of reminders.
If you could
talk about
see
this.
how many notes Mike has in front of him right now.
We're not going to get to them all. I guarantee you that.
Dude, we can't get to them. How long is this episode?
I don't know.
I have like 4 notes, and it's like, it was like, oh, what quotes do I love?
Right. Dude, I have
something that I want to ask you in the episode, like things like that.
No,
you know?
dude, I have so many.
You went nuts for this.
Well,
But that's so good. I love that. I love this.
I mean, you mentioned the 3 seashells. This is this is, first of all, it's an amazing thing in the movie.
Yeah.
That when Sylvester Stallone's character wakes up, there's all the world has totally changed. It's now 2032, and the world has totally changed.
They don't use toilet paper.
They do not use any kind of bidets or toilet papers or anything. They use 3 seashells, and the best part is that they always make fun of him that he doesn't know how to use them, and it's never explained.
It's the last line of the movie.
And
how they work.
And guess what? You never see them.
No.
Right? So you don't even know if they're referring to actual
seashells,
or it's just
something
a name.
shaped like a
Right.
seashell.
And not for nothing, but in terms of like whatever shameless, selfish promotion. But I produced this movie called Without Ward.
Sure.
And in the film, and the director and I, Corey, talked a lot about it, about the aspect of Without Ward as to its relationship to Demolition Man. There's these things called sniggles in the movie.
We have discussed this.
And the sniggles in the movie, in Without Ward, First of all, it's a made-up word, obviously, as far as I know. And there are these little wooden blocks, and there's no buttons, or it's just literally a wooden block. But everything is done from them. So you get like holograms, you get phone calls, you get music.
It's like
you
the
get
tricorder and Star, where it just does everything.
It does everything,
but you don't really know what it was initially designed for.
Right. And the characters in the movie, in Without Ward, know how to use it, but you have no idea how to use it because it literally just looks like a plain wooden block. And we talked about this in relationship to Demolition Man, like the 3 seashells. Like, it's never explained how they work. They just work, right? And and almost relating it to, how would you explain, like, I don't know, an iPhone to someone 400 years ago?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there'd be no where do you even start? Yeah. You'd have to explain what a phone is first of all, and then you'd have to explain, like, there'd be no reference. It would look like
it'd be witchcraft.
It is, right?
Yeah.
And
I still think it's witchcraft.
I mean, it kind of is, yeah. So that's one of the great things about this movie is this movie's very, we'll say, surface level and stupid on the surface.
Sure. Because
the concept of the film is basically Wesley Snipes is a bad guy, Stallone is the good guy,
and they're frozen.
And and Sylvester Stallone gets charged with a bunch of murders.
Yeah, set up.
But he's set up by Wesley Snipes. But he gets charged, and at the time they implement this new cryogenically frozen jail.
It's so awesome.
It's awesome.
As you're explaining, I'm just like, this movie
it's
rules.
So sick. And that all happens before the opening title sequence, okay? And you know that Wesley Snipes the bad guy, Sylvester Stallone's the good guy. They both get frozen. Now, for some reason, and we find out later in the movie why, but Wesley Snipes gets unfrozen, and he has a job to do. And once that job is figured out, the reaction to that is that, well, first of all, the whole world has changed, as proven by the 3 seashells, and they don't know what to do. The policing, one of the great lines is from Rob Schneider, which is, "We're policemen. We're not trained for this kind of violence. We're not trained for this kind of violence." It's a really funny line. But everything's illegal, okay? So
swearing's illegal.
Swearing's illegal. Sex is illegal. Like, physical touch is illegal.
Well, you can get a license.
Yeah, but to have kids, but not to have sex.
Oh yeah,
though.
true. Because it's the
sex is bad because of disease.
No transfer of fluids.
No transfer of fluids. No salt. No everything
no
bad.
No contact sports.
No contact sports. Everything.
For Running Man is illegal in Demolition Man.
100% it would be. Everything that is quote unquote bad for you is illegal. So, so Sylvester Stallone is woken up in this is brought back into this world that he doesn't understand to catch a criminal that he does understand, right? And so he has to navigate his way through this.
Such a good concept.
It's a great concept. Some of the great things about this movie is it's doing, and again, it's just before really, I mean, I'll mention a horror movie, but Scream, that happens a few years after this movie, really solidifies the idea of sort of being quote unquote meta and winking at the audience and referencing real life stuff. Now in this movie, they're doing this, and it's kind of why one of the reasons why the movie's so rewatchable. A couple of things that I thought I'd throw out to you, and maybe you'll have a few more, okay? First of all, that reference either real world or movies inside of the movie. Number one, I don't know if you caught this, but it was the first thing that I caught on this rewatch. Benjamin Bratt's character, what is his name? Alfredo Garcia, baby.
Is it really?
It's Alfredo Garcia.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. You know what? I remember I caught that on the last time I watched it.
Yeah,
and then this time I was doing I should tell the listener, I watched this right before coming here, and I watched it on 1.5 speed because I'm like, I gotta just like get it in my brain. I've seen it so many times. But like, I will say I was in terms of closely paying attention, this was not the watch for that.
No.
But that's very awesome.
That's
to people who don't know, a film Mike and I really love, very sick, the dustiest, sweatiest movie ever made, is called Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia by Sam Peckinpah.
Yeah, Dalton introduced me to this movie.
And my birthday was recently.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And Mike was very kind and bought me the 4K of that movie.
Well, and Dalton was very kind back and gave me a bootleg version.
A
we'll
bootleg
say,
version. Yeah.
so that
That's exactly what it was.
so that I could also enjoy the film on physical media. But anyways, that was the first one that popped up. Was like, oh, they just referenced Alfredo Garcia. Hal is referenced obviously from
Hal,
2001.
I caught that one.
Star Wars, Jackie Chan.
Use the Force, Luke.
Jackie Chan, Scarface, Spacely Sprockets, the Jetsons.
There's so many, and
is also referenced.
There's so many references.
Taco Bell is a really important.
Well, depending on
thing.
which version you watch.
I have never seen the other version, so I don't know what that is.
It's Pizza Hut.
It's Pizza Hut.
They had to change it.
Yeah.
And I think there's some other stuff cut, like some of the violence and stuff.
Yeah.
But I have both cuts.
I've never seen the Pizza Hut version. As far as I know, I've only seen the Taco Bell version. I don't know what the movie would be without Taco Bell.
It's the real version. To everyone
really
out there,
funny.
we believe in the Taco Bell cut.
Yeah. Some of the other really funny things that is so there's lots of movie references in this movie. The other thing is how far ahead this movie is in a lot of ways. The Taco Bell thing is really funny, but we're kind of seeing. I mean, in the movie industry, they joke about it, but it's coming truer and truer as days go by, where there's just going to be one studio. And in terms of franchises and all that kind of stuff, it's interesting. In the movie, in the movie world, there was a big earthquake, I believe it was, or a couple of big earthquakes. Anyways, so
the big one,
and then there was the franchise wars, I think is what they called them. Yeah. Anyways, Taco Bell survived all of this, and now every restaurant is Taco Bell.
You know what's funny about that is when you look at movies from a certain period, and they use a big company like that. So I'll use Harold and Kumar, the White Castle thing. Yeah. I don't even know if White Castle. I think it is, but it's it's such a smaller thing now.
Yeah.
If in Demolition Man it was White Castle, it would be so much. Right, they picked one that actually is still around and still pretty big. So they actually had some Taco Bell is gonna be huge.
And dude, it's also such a funny thing to pick.
It is
so specific
because it's to most people it's the lowest of the fast food. It's oh yeah, I won't eat it because I will get violently sick.
And that's the only restaurant that you have to choose from. Yeah. So there's some really funny things about that in the film, but also I thought I'd mention too the Arnold has a reference in this too. The presidential, Schwarzenegger
the
presidential library, which is funny because then of course he goes on to be in public office, holds public office in real life. But not for many years after this movie. But I thought that was really funny. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff too, especially on, and this will be a perfect segue because I really want to talk about the physical media side of things. But the last thing I'll say about some of the inner side jokes or inner stuff that's going on in this movie is Sandra Bullock's apartment is also really funny. But you don't as a kid, I either watched this on TV or on VHS on a 20-inch
not on
television.
Laserdisc she
did not watch it on Laserdisc. So a lot of those sight gags that are in her apartment, for example, I didn't get. Watching this, I watched it on Blu-ray. The Blu-ray is fantastic. Yeah, it looks unbelievable.
I watched the 4K.
Now you have the 4K, which I'm a little jealous of. So yeah, I just wanted to mention, at least for me, watching this film. This is only, I think I've watched this not too many times on. Maybe 4 times. Yeah, 3 or 4 times maybe on Blu-ray.
It looks
it's so good. And
whatever they did for this, to keep it looking as, because it's
incredible.
Obviously, I mean, sometimes 4Ks can be hit or miss.
Yep.
This one I was really impressed, and I told you last time I watched it, I thought it looked fine. I didn't think it looked amazing. And then this time I was like, this looks really good.
A couple of things I wanted to mention about some of the people behind the film, but then I want to get into some of the nitty-gritty sick things about this.
Of course,
movie.
that's what we're here for. It's what you're all here for.
Joel Silver produced this. Very
Awesome.
important producer in the 80s and 90s.
We've talked about him on the show before.
Oh, yeah, we have. The director of this movie is a guy named Marco Brambilla, if I'm pronouncing that right, hopefully.
I'll say yeah.
It's his first feature.
That's so awesome.
He follows it up with a film which I don't know if you know of. I definitely have. I saw it maybe twice, once for sure. Comes out in the late 90s, 97, 98 maybe. It's called Excess Baggage.
I don't think I've seen
It's
that.
with Benicio del Toro, Alicia Silverstone, and Christopher Walken. Probably the most late 90s movie ever. Thought you might enjoy this. He also directed the Kanye West music video for Power.
That's awesome. that's really sweet. You know, Kanye watched Demolition Man like the day before on his like giant gymnasium sized screen that he has, and just went, "Who is this guy? Can we get this guy?"
That's it. That's really weird. He basically just does music videos and TV. After this, he only does like.
He
two
did a
movies,
reverse
I think.
Michael Bay. Michael Bay made a ton of music videos and then made sick movies, and then he did sick movies and then made music videos.
When was your experience with this movie? When did you hear of it? When did you see it?
Oh,
What was
man.
your like? I know it's always been around, but what's
This one's a lot harder to pin down. I feel like it might even have been a movie that like I watched half of, like different chunks over the years,
because it was a TV staple like forever.
always on TV.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe there was a VHS floating around and I watched
Sure.
it, but
Oh, yeah.
I don't have like distinct memories of it. It wasn't a big one when I was younger, but definitely as I got older and kind of gravitated more towards movies like this. I talked about it a few times with the guys at the record store, Odyssey
Of course.
Records. I believe they're pretty big fans of it, and and I remember I was chatting with them about it, and I said I haven't seen that in a long time. This was a few years ago. And I was I haven't seen that in a long time. I should throw that on again. And then I was like, oh yeah, it's like one of those perfect late night after work.
I mean, that was my experience with it. Is
Yeah.
that it was for me? It was a summer movie that I have a lot of cousins on one side, like a ridiculous amount of cousins. But there's a few that were around my age, and they would come down from the west of Canada. That's where my mom's family, most of her family was out there. And they would come down usually for a week or two during the summer months, right, and just hang out. And it was the kind of guys around my age. They were maybe a year or two younger. And our big thing was, we'd jump off bridges into into water.
You're doing It's Always Sunny,
100%, dude.
Badass stunts.
No, and I mean, we go swimming, we play sports, we ride bikes, right? We do all those type of things, right? And one of the best times were always in the evening, where we would it'd be 8, 9 o'clock, after coming in from a full day of playing, because you're 11, 12 years old, right? And
you're a little tuckered out.
And you just throw on, and you wanted it to be bangers, right? So these are the times I like a lot of these sort of mid to late 90s action movies where this is where I watched them.
Spot, man.
Dude, like Broken Arrow was a big one. The films that we're going to be talking about next week also fit the bill, both of them. The first time I saw T1 and T2 was with my cousins, late night, right? So my parents would, everyone would go to bed, and we would, we just sit up and watch movies all night, or till we fell asleep. And this was one we rented so many times, whether I went there, because sometimes we would go there, right, for holidays or whatever, and then they would come here. It was just
bringing Demolition Man.
Dude, you gotta rent Demolition Man. And it was one of those perfect films. Like, my favorite kinds of films when I was growing up were always like comedies that were mixed with action. Of
course.
So and that
This
kind of
movie's
cross.
really funny.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
And that kind of cross genres. Like, I was a big, I had a huge Western phase, but my favorite Westerns were like Silverado.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Blazing Saddles.
No, that was a little like I was a little
later,
young.
later, yeah.
But see, Blazing Saddles is a comedy that is set in the West.
Exactly, it's not a
where,
Western.
Where something like Silverado is like a Western comedy. Wagons East was another big one.
Sure, yeah.
These kind of odd, funny action movies, right? So this one was like the ultimate because it had the most amount of action.
It had it all.
It had Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, big fans, right? Obviously, and it was just the best. It was probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite movie as a kid for a while. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I remember,
and it was one of the most rewatched movies and then once my sister and brother kind of got up to, age that it was like, it was on all the time. It was one of my sister's favorite movies. Like, it's just, it was just on, dude.
When I texted you saying that I got to rewatch Demolition Man in a hurry, you said, I could tell you every line to that movie.
100%.
And I was like, I wish I was there with this movie. Like,
I don't even think about it. Like, if the movie's on, I can just
I've
literally
seen it
just
probably
line for line,
like in the past 10 years. I've probably seen it like 5 times.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and I'm like watching this time. Like, I need to watch this more often.
See, it's different. It's like a lot of things in other elements of your life.
Yeah.
If you if you were a kid that, for me, it was sports. A lot of, if whatever sport you played between the ages of like 8 and 14, you still have all of those muscle skill, like that muscle memory.
Sure, yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
And that's, I feel that with a lot of movies sometimes where like, I don't think about Demolition Man say all the time.
I have a ton of those movies that I can from that age where I could tell you the inflections on lines,
like
the music cues, like
everything. Dude. Like everything.
Jurassic Park 3, dude. I could give you every beat of that movie.
Right, but so it's not a film that like that's way harder to do when you're an adult, right? Because you have other like bullshit.
I can't remember anything, man.
But
I watched Demolition Man like 2 hours ago, and like I'm like trying to remember
what fucking scene was it?
Yeah,
what
the fuck
did they do? What elements of this movie to you are the sickest?
Oh man, do you know what? I think I'm gonna surprise you on this.
Yeah.
As much as I love the action in this movie,
yes,
the action is not the high point of this movie for me.
Yeah.
I really think it's the like fish out of water thing is really the strong point of this movie because everything's
a great fish out of water movie.
Everything's stupid in this movie. Like,
it is
every single thing, but the way that Stallone, Spartan,
John Spartan, dude.
John Spartan, what a name. And
Simon Phoenix?
Yeah.
Come on.
The way that I texted you earlier today, I said these are the greatest fake names in movie history.
The only thing that I can think of that rivals it is Face Off.
Yeah.
Face Off is close.
Good. But the way John Spartan is he has to adjust to everything, and then Simon Phoenix, he can do everything.
Yeah.
He's just like when I texted you earlier that I'm a seamstress.
Yeah.
He gets to every password and hack computers and everything.
And I'm Betsy fucking Ross.
Yeah, it's so good. But that's like my favorite element is he not only does he have to overcome his greatest rival, he is in a completely new environment. There's nothing familiar to him except Simon Phoenix.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's such a good driving force to this movie. And the way he's like a bull in a china shop to all of their bureaucracy and the way they do things. The way he literally like wipes his ass with their fines. You know?
I mean, that dude, the fine thing is a really sick piece of it.
It's such a good bit because every time you do it, you can hear it quietly in the background.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is that it's a running gag that they do not forget.
No,
like it is there the whole time.
I will say I was going to save this for a little later, but because we're talking about it, so when. I'm going to jump ahead for a second.
Go.
You don't have to get there yet, but one of the sickest quotes in this movie has a really good. So it's when they're watching the TV and he's bringing the kid out.
Yeah.
And the reporter's like, "How can you justify destroying a $7 million mini mall to rescue a girl whose ransom was only $25,000?" And the little girl goes, "Fuck you, lady."
He's like, "Good answer."
Yeah. But if you listen, when you hear the "fuck you, lady" on the TV, way off in the background, the machine goes off. it's so quiet and it's so subtle, but because I'm already like that line is already so funny.
It's always
fuck you, lady.
Yeah.
But the like you've been fined for what just got me even more this time. Actually, to me, one of the best parts of the movie because you'll kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, they don't though.
No, they don't.
They don't.
And then kind of what you were saying. I'll tell you what I wrote down. If it's not an action set piece, they're world building and doing something funny. A perfect blend of action and comedy does not feel long. It literally could be 30 minutes longer. Like because
I was surprised at it does this weird thing where it's just about 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it feels so much shorter than that, but like if you were to pause it with like 10 minutes left,
you're like, there's so much stuff.
You'd
that
also
has
be
to
like,
happen.
there's so like I've seen it before. I'm like, there's so much they have to do still.
Yeah.
What do you mean? There's 10? They fit so much into this time frame, but also it does not feel as long as it is. It's a weird thing that they accomplished,
and it's so. I think it has a lot to do with, they follow your sort of stereotypical standard action movie.
Yeah.
In terms of set pieces, you have your opening set piece, you set up your good and your bad, right? And then there's like a couple of really great, for example, the first kind of big thing that memorable set piece would be the museum.
the Hall of Violence.
The Hall of Violence, which is so sick, by the way.
To me, it's the best action scene in the movie.
It's so good. And so you have that. Then you have other like a few other things that are memorable, right? Mm-hmm. The Taco Bell scene, mm-hmm. right? Them going into the underground, right? You have the car chase. Mm-hmm. You have, of course, the ending, right? Mm-hmm. You have the 4 or 5 kind of bigger like sort of action set pieces, mm-hmm. but they're not a half an hour long.
No, they're pretty quick.
They're very quick, and
the
then,
Taco Bell one's really quick.
But I remember you feel like, oh, now it's the Taco Bell thing, and then all of a sudden it's like over, So it's these like,
but you don't want to linger on them.
No, you
because
don't.
You're so invested with these characters,
and you kind of want them to go back, to. A place where Sandra Bullock is saying cute, funny things, or
she's so fun. Like
she's
some of her
so
slip ups are so funny.
The slip ups are amazing. Her character is one of those characters that, if in the wrong hands, from an actor standpoint, it is super annoying.
She's not dumb, but she's very naive, and there's a big difference. And I think somebody else plays that as dumb.
Correct.
She got because she's quite smart. She has
she's
some
actually
great ideas.
She's actually probably the smartest cop that they have.
Yeah, because immediately when shit's going down,
she knows
she's
exactly.
on the computer.
Yeah,
she's doing everything. And then they even say like, "Oh, good job," and she's just like, looking all chipper and
right. And she's the one that is kind of looking for something more. You know what I mean? And
she is also quite forward for being like
yeah.
Like when she just goes like, "Do you want to have sex?"
Yeah,
and he's just like. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
of course, yeah.
But like,
with you,
yeah, with you. But that's a good impression. But her whole, not even just that scene, but the way she's very like, let's do this, let's go out, let's do it. And she even gets mad that he knocks her out because she's like, I want to be there. I'm your partner. We need to engage in the action together.
Well, the thing is, what makes her brilliant? One of the things that makes her brilliant is she is our. Leader. We are John Spartan. We don't know this world.
We don't know
either. They're like, we don't care about you. You're a barbarian. She is like taking the time to try to get to know him. But she's also
will not tell him about those seashells.
Nope.
So.
But I mean, there's obviously an attraction there too.
Yeah.
But
it's more than that.
But it's more than that. She's also super.
I think the attraction comes from her genuinely being interested in him, like almost like as a specimen.
Yeah.
And as a vehicle for her to like get to where she wants and the things she wants, and then because he represents all the things, the attraction comes naturally. It's not like I'm attracted to you, so I'm going to do this. It feels very natural, and not shoehorned in.
No,
and I mean, their whole relationship it's
so great. It's
great. It's funny. They have this great banter.
Great banter. And then the 1-2 punch. If you put this on and then the first Speed, you're like, this is why Sandra Bullock is an A-lister.
Is a movie star.
Yeah, she's unbelievable in both of those films. And what's interesting is she's playing. I don't know if it was ever done in the same way, at least in that era, but she's in this rare space where she is very clearly not the lead in either one of those movies. Yet in both films, she's integral to the movie. The movie doesn't actually work as well without her in either Speed or Demolition Man.
Of course.
And she's playing about as female of a character as you can play. It is a version of the damsel in distress, but
she's less ditzy.
But there's something else. It's a part that couldn't really have been done the same way 20 years before that. In the same way, it's a very self-aware and also aware of the times kind of character that is, because also in that type of film, I don't want to get too into this, but I don't want to see two female leads action superstars in Demolition Man.
No.
I don't want to see that. However, I will say that the movie doesn't work as well without Sandra Bullock there, and you need that
Absolutely.
character. Right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I think she's a really, really important part of this movie, not just because she's super hot.
Do you want to do, since we already kind of mentioned it?
Yeah.
That wasn't my sickest line.
What's your sickest line?
But that was one of them.
Yeah.
This is one I'm definitely getting a fine for.
Yeah.
Just give me I wrote it down because I wanted to get it exact.
Yeah, sure.
It is when he is swearing at the swearing machine.
Yep.
And he says, "Thanks a lot, you shit-brained, fuck-face, ball-breaking, duck-fucking pain in the ass."
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is just an
That's great.
all-timer.
Yeah.
That is definitely not going on the radio, but
No.
you got you podcast listeners will
get the
enjoy
whole
that
deal.
one.
I like there's a whole I've always loved films that create kind of their, not a whole language like Elvish or whatever. I think that's that's whatever. I mean, peace and love to people who are into that. But I like slang a lot.
Yeah, this
like
one's
huge fan of slang.
Yeah.
I mean, the best example, of course, is Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
But this film also is kind of tapping into that, where there is a bunch, like, language is kind of used differently. Enhance your calm.
enhance your comms.
Mellow Greetings.
Mellow Greetings.
I wrote down a few other ones.
Was
Here.
he-
What's
your
seems
boggle?
What seems to be your boggle? Joy Feelings.
Joy Feelings.
Dude,
Murder, Death, Kill.
Yeah, Murder, Death, Kill. One of my favorite small moments in this is right before Simon Phoenix goes up to the I don't know, whatever you want to call it, AI. I don't know,
the ATM.
the
thing?
ATM thing with there's a guy there that's like, I don't know, like my day.
I feel terrible.
You're a great person with many joy feelings to give to everyone around you.
I also
And,
love when he's doing that.
He just like tosses him out of the way.
What does he say? Like, I'm on fire or something like that.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could play the accordion.
Yeah.
That one gets me too.
Yeah, I love the line where he's like, the lead guy is like, "Be well," and then Sylvester Stallone
Pulls
just
the
goes,
gun on him.
Be fucked.
Be fucked. That was my
great.
my last rewatch. That was my whole Letterboxd review. It's just be well, be fucked.
It's great. It's great.
I don't remember what mine was this time.
You do?
I said I don't.
No.
I did it like an hour ago. I don't even remember.
Are the cars in this movie better than Tesla cars?
Well, yeah, anything's better than a Tesla.
One thing I mean, I'm sure there's a scientific reason why. The foam thing, I think, is absolutely ingenious.
Yeah, it's so.
I don't know why our cars don't do that.
I know, it's so good. I thought about that too.
So that's number one. Number two,
get on that, guys.
If you don't know, I mean, again, you go watch the movie.
Yeah.
But basically, if there's no airbags, if you get into an accident or if you get an impact at a certain rate, the whole car just turns into like a foam.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing.
I mean, like, you can't do that, and I understand.
Yeah, no,
but,
I know. That's
but
why
do
I said,
it anyway.
But do it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have
Just
a car
for us.
You don't have a car afterwards, but then you'll also be alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The other thing,
airbags do that now mostly.
not in the same way though.
No.
You also get.
It's also not as cool.
It's definitely nowhere near as cool.
Yeah. That's really what matters. It has to be sick. If I'm getting in a
It has
car
to be so
accident,
sick.
I want it to be sick.
there's another thing that if you watched as much action movies as I did, especially in the 90s, early 2000s, I'm sure you've watched your share of action movies.
I've watched my share.
One or two.
Well, a couple.
There's usually in every action movie there's some kind of car chase.
Yeah. The good ones.
Always wondered why they didn't shoot out the tires. And this and a lot of movies, of course, you're like, well, it's a movie, and if they shot out the tires, this car chase wouldn't happen, then it wouldn't be sick. Okay, great. Or it's like, well, it's high speed, so if you shoot it, then like this person might die. Sometimes they explain it that way, like there's an innocent on board, and they don't want to. Okay, fine. In this movie, they address it almost immediately,
head on,
and it's unbelievable because they go right to the tire. Right, he shoots the tire, and it's self-inflating tires. Yeah. It's like it's so
perfect.
Sick, dude.
It's perfect.
Like it's
another thing.
Yeah,
come up with that.
That was my last point about the cars is come up with self-inflating tires. Like, what are you doing?
I feel like that one is significantly less difficult than the foam.
Oh, 100%.
Like
100%.
I'm sure somebody could make that.
Last couple things on Demolition, man. Give me a couple of, like, what's your sickest scene if you had to pick one?
Even though I said like my favorite things about it aren't the action.
Yeah.
The Hall of Violence scene. The set is really cool.
It's really cool.
And
it's so cool.
The way they have to interact with the set.
Yes.
Like not only just as soon as the doors shut, to them breaking the glass, to going into another level, which will come back later in the movie. It's great world building and storytelling through the environment.
Yep.
Along with some really awesome... The way that scene is shot is really cool.
It's really cool.
I
love how like there's guns, but they seem to have like ammo and
unlimited ammo.
It's amazing. It's because they're so... honestly, it makes sense in the world because they're so... like
they're naive again.
They're naive, but they're so confident that this will never will happen again.
I love he reaches for the gun. He comes up. He's immediately got a belt of grenades. He's got unlimited. It was like 2 seconds.
2 seconds
locked and loaded.
That and I love the realization. Hey, it's the future. Shouldn't there be some phaser guns?
Yeah,
and then finds a phaser gun.
And he goes, I love this gun.
Yeah, and then he makes the like outdated joke of like, does this thing need batteries? Where's there a Radio Shack?
What kind of batteries? Point me to the Radio Shack.
But yeah, that I agree with you. That scene is.
How much do you weigh?
Yeah,
just throws.
Well, I weigh about, and the guy's just like totally into it.
Yeah,
I weigh
I like that the way that scene starts. He walks in, he just hits someone's head into the glass, and everyone just kind of looks and goes, "We should probably leave." You know? And he just like immediately goes like. Him and Spartan both did it, where there's just a guy standing there, like with the stick later on.
Oh, dude, when you just like
just taps the guy, it works.
Yeah.
And even the police officers don't care at all. That guy that one got me so good this time. Just,
so
boom,
great.
guy just drops like a sack of potatoes.
How
about you?
I love. There's a couple of things. It's hard with this movie.
Yeah.
However, not to be super grade 9 English about this, but in a movie that is this outrageous and quote unquote stupid, even though it's not, but it's stupid.
It's very awesome.
I love the foreshadowing. Give me a good foreshadow.
There's tons of it.
Is it cold in here? Is it just me?
Yeah.
You know, and I'd lose my head, and then both of those things happen at the end.
Yeah.
Of course, the movie itself is being cryogenically frozen is very important to the movie. The climax of the film takes place in that place as well. It's just like it's a great bookend and something that does not need to be in this movie, but was very clear. Like that thought though of like, hey, we're gonna do this, and then he's going to bring it back.
It also gives great opportunities for those one-liners. Like, there's so many in this movie.
Yeah.
I want to give another shout-out for a sick scene. The opening scene of this movie is really awesome. Snipes is just doing cocaine at the thing. He's got gasoline everywhere. There's just barrels and barrels of C4. It's a mini mall.
Yeah.
You know? And he's standing in a puddle of gasoline. They're playing these, like, games and everything. The whole dynamic immediately
it's so great.
Perfect. It's a perfect opening.
And the thing is they do reference him as Demolition Man a couple of times in the movie, right?
It's not his first time doing that.
Right. But if you start looking at this going scene by scene, he does actually destroy everything.
So much.
Literally everything. Yeah. Like it is funny because again, everything is followed through on in this movie, and that's one of my favorite things.
It's really well thought out.
Yeah, it's very
despite how like simple and like kind of dumb this movie is.
Yeah.
They thought about it a lot.
The execution is just at 100%. Like, it's very sick. You know, I love. The one thing I didn't mention, but I think music is, I'm obviously, you know, as we all are fans of, you know, music, and music's super important. I think not just because, to me, it's not just background music.
Yeah.
You know, it means a lot. The way they treat music in this movie, I think is really funny.
Dude, the commercials.
That commercials.
The hot dogs.
Armor hot dogs.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's singing it like when he gets stressed and stuff, and then when they go to Taco Bell and it's at the Jolly Green Giant. Like they're following through on this. They sing it in the car. It's at the Taco Bell. He's singing it again, like when they're down in the Revolution thing. I just or trying to find Dennis Leary's character. I just think like the idea that they have reduced music down to 30-second, not just 30 seconds, but 30-second advertisements is
it's the oldies.
Right. And it made me think, I think I actually posted about it or on the story about this particular scene. But when the Mario Brothers song came out, it was like 45 seconds long or something. I'm like, we're just there, dude.
Yep.
Like, we're one step away from basically being there, and it's just another sick thing about this movie that they're you know, we didn't even mention that Dennis Leary's in this movie. It's really
so awesome that he's in this movie.
He's essential. There is no acting involved. He is literally doing Dennis Leary like stand-up bits. In this, he gets one long. I was gonna write it out, but it doesn't matter. He gets one long sort of rant, which is great. And it again, to a certain age group, this is gonna get right by them. He had a very big song at the time called around this time called "I'm an Asshole." He was a big sort of stand-up guy, and this was his personality. This is what he and he's just doing that. So for him to just be in this movie, and he's, oh, by the way, literally the central part of this movie. The movie doesn't happen without him, not without Dennis Leary, but without his character, because they don't bring that's why Wesley Snipes is brought back, is to kill his character. So he's essential to the story.
A little bit of the Terminator thing going on.
100%. I would say if I had to choose one like sequence, it's when they go down into the underground. I love everything about that. I love the way it's shot. The rat burgers. Like they find the car.
It has a really good vibe to it.
Yeah,
and then that whole sequence.
And then they Sandra Bullock knows about the car, and then he's impressed about that.
I love that, where she's just like, she's so stoked on the car.
Then the scene where, because they knew they had to have it, and and is like where, you know, he's found all of his henchmen, and now he's pumping them up to go and do the thing. It is shot, and the music is like they're on a pirate ship.
Yes, absolutely.
And I love that. And so much, as we said before, so much stuff happens that like you could almost do a whole movie down there. And reminded me of like the first Terminator movie, like, you know, and it's this underground revolutionaries, and they're living under the city and blah blah blah, and you get this whole world. There's like Bud Light signs and
a little
like,
Matrix-y,
you know, it's
too.
very Matrix. It has some Matrix vibes. There's all of this stuff happening, but it's literally like maybe 10 minutes long.
It's not even 10 minutes long.
It's so quick, and it's so awesome. Like, I just love that. And then they have to go up, and they have the car, and then that kicks off the car chase, right? So that's probably mine. I think just seek this movie out. Definitely, if you can, seek it out. Like, I got my Blu-ray for $5 at Walmart.
Yeah.
I was part of their, like, they just had like a Demolition Man for $5.
Yeah, and then if you really want to go for the 4K, it is more expensive.
It's more expensive, but you get a lot of more stuff.
It looks
involved.
really good. It has both cuts. If you want to see the Pizza Hut cut of the movie, it's got a bunch of great extras.
Yeah,
and,
but watch it on physical media. Watch it either Blu-ray or 4K, and
or if it's on Tubi, watch it on Tubi.
Or is it on Tubi?
I don't know. It seems like a Tubi movie.
It does seem like it's a Tubi movie.
If it's on there, feel free to watch it there.
Yeah, please do. It'd be if we hypothetically were gonna do some kind of series or collection of movies
at Tubi.
We would probably include this movie if they had it.
We're a lot of speculation going on right now, but either way, Physical media or
Yes.
Tubi are the only ways to go.
Yes. So yeah, check out this movie. This has been a lot of fun talking about this film. I literally could go for like 2 more hours
I know.
about this film.
I am excited to talk about the next one.
Yes,
I
me
didn't.
too.
I didn't think I would be as excited as I am to talk about it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's very fun.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about the 1987 action movie,
The
Running Man.
In the year 2017, an innocent man accused of a crime has a choice: hard time or prime time.
Sensational. Perfect contestant. I want him.
He must pay or play the running man.
On your mark.
I'll be back.
Go!
The highest rated TV show in history.
Guess they want us to stay.
It's a game between life and death. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the running man.
Dalton, the Running Man, dude. How sick is this movie?
It was way sicker than I remembered it being.
Really?
Actually. Yeah. In high school, I was I was reading a lot of Stephen King books, and though I think it's a Bachman book. This one, if I'm not mistaken.
It could be, yeah, but it's part of like a bunch of short stories, I think.
Yeah, and the thing was, I hadn't read it, but I was also big into movies at the time, and what actually happened, the connection for me, wasn't either of those things. It wasn't that I was a big Stephen King fan, or I wouldn't even say big. I was reading a lot of Stephen King. I wouldn't say I was a big fan.
Sure.
There's a
yeah.
Or that I was watching a lot of movies. We had like this filmmaking class in high school, and my teacher loved to show us just clips from things. And he had this bit that he used to love the edited for TV versions of things where they
That's so fun.
like the snakes on a plane, the Monday to Friday snakes, whatever. And he showed us the scene from The Running where the old lady, I can't now. I should have looked it up. I forgot I would bring this up, but what she says is really funny, and he kept bringing it up, and we never understood what he was talking about.
Is that where she goes like, I can vote for any of
these motherfuckers?
Yeah,
exactly. And then he showed us that scene because he kept saying it like in place of that because he's a teacher, he can't swear at us.
Yippee-ki-yay, Mellow Farmer was pretty good for Die Hard.
So it was, and then it opened up a whole can of worms where he showed us a ton of them. But that made me want to watch The Running Man.
Yeah,
was just that, and I remember watching it and going like, I liked it. You know, I thought it was a lot of fun. This was around the time that The Hunger Games was out.
Sure,
like the books were really big.
Yeah,
I loved like Battle Royale. At that age, there's a lot of like those like death games type things. I love Death Race.
Literally, one of the notes I made was how much did Hunger Games take from this?
Yeah, but I was like, so I was kind of into that. You know, the televised death games thing is such a fun concept.
It's great.
And then so I was excited to watch it, and then I was a little disappointed at that age because it's very 80s cheesy, like. It's so hokey. And then I watched it again probably in college. I used to watch so many movies in college. Like I was watching like 3 movies a day. So that's why every time that we talk on this show, I'm going to be like, yeah, I watched it in college too, because I watched everything in college.
Not Money Train though.
Not Money Train.
It got by you.
It got by me. Snuck through.
That's okay. You got back.
I got it.
You got
at
on
the right
that
time.
station.
I got it at the right
that's
time.
Right. Yeah.
But this one, I was nice to revisit. So we kind of discussed this movie as an option.
We did.
And I was like, I remember. I think if I watch it again, I'll probably think it's pretty sick. There's a lot of stuff in it that I remember being sick. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, yes, this movie. I went watching it. I watched it last night.
Yeah.
I think you did too.
I
right?
did. Yeah.
It was funny because I think I had just started it, and then I opened up Letterboxd for something, and I saw that you had like just finished it, and I was like,
Yeah.
dude, I literally just started it.
So great.
It was also kind of a reminder that we were recording today. If I'm being honest, that's why Demolition Man had to be a quick one today. I was like, oh yeah, I should probably just watch the running. And I was like, oh wait, we're actually recording tomorrow because there's a holiday. This is today. You're not going to hear it for a little bit, but this is Thanksgiving was yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed. I thought it was so much fun.
It has that. This is 5-6 years before, obviously, Demolition Man.
Yeah.
But it has this quality that I don't know. I guess it's probably a combination of things, but, this movie maybe is not looked upon as in the same quality, but like an escape from New York, or that, and that kind of grungy, dirty 80s futuristic thing that I don't know if it ever can be replicated.
On that note, there was something I made a mental note of watching both of these films.
Yeah.
And their views of the future are really cool.
Yeah.
Like, I like in the 80s, what they imagine, like everything's TV based, right?
Yeah.
And all of their TVs look exactly like they looked in the 80s. Like they didn't think it. They're like, we perfected this.
Yeah, it's not going to get any better.
They didn't even make thinner TVs.
No.
Like some of them are just bigger.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's you guys.
And they have like a bunch more like futuristic buttons on them.
Yeah. But they all have that.
Well, I mean, we were talking about Demolition Man, like the ATM thing with the thing.
Yeah.
Like that's just on your phone now. Like it's tiny. It's like FaceTime is this big.
They're all still like CRT.
They're
all still
exactly
have the crackle.
The
and
crackle.
Like, you guys
and
couldn't even imagine a clear picture. Yeah. So that I really liked it this time watching. How about you?
That's great. Yeah. No, I mean, I hadn't watched this film in a little while. But again, it was one of those that I'd watched so many times as a kid. So, a lot of the one-liners. This, I think, has not the most. I want to say it's probably Commando that probably has the most one-liners, but this has got to be up there. Like,
it's got a lot. I mean, like I said, Demolition Man has a ton.
It does, but they're more quotable lines. This film definitely, like, the be well, be fucked is obviously a one-liner.
Yeah.
However, there's a couple in there, but they're more so done like tongue in cheek and like they even comment.
This
on
one
them.
are like dead
this one
serious.
is like they're just writing in one-liners. Like
they're setting up scenes so there can be a perfect one-liner.
Correct.
Yeah.
Speaking of, this movie was written by a guy named Stephen E. D'Souza, who wrote films like Die Hard, Commando, which I just referenced, Judge Dredd, which we batted around.
That was also going to be in the place of The Running Man. We considered Judge Dredd.
And another very important film that will be done on this podcast, I guarantee you, is a little film called Ricochet.
Oh my!
He also wrote that movie.
Hey, I'm going to take a minute here.
Yeah, take a minute. Preach on it.
Yeah, you guys don't even understand how much Ricochet means to Mike and I.
Dude.
It's in the same vein as Unstoppable and Demolition Man in terms of like these are the movies we were kicking around when we decided to do this, and we just have not found the right one to pair it with.
Yeah.
When we do the Ricochet episode, you don't want to miss that one because we
might go scene by scene for that one. Like we might.
I'm not joking. It might be one where if we don't have a pairing,
we just might do.
We might just do
the
Ricochet because we could talk about it for that long.
Yeah, dude.
I don't think we'll do that.
No,
but if we get desperate, we might because we really need to talk about Ricochet.
Yeah.
I just needed to put that out there. So
yeah, absolutely.
So we didn't just gloss over how sick Ricochet is. Watch Ricochet, everybody listening. If you've never seen Ricochet,
look it up.
Watch it. Shut off what you're listening to right now. Watch Ricochet, and then come back and listen to the rest of it. But
this episode, and then you'll be nice and prepped for when we do Ricochet, which will be. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be soon, though.
Yeah,
because,
it won't be that long.
No. This film stars, obviously, Arnold, Jim Brown, Jesse Ventura, who's actually in
The Body, dude. The
Body is in Demolition Man and this film. And little Richard Dawson, is the kind of the big bad in this movie, who's from Hogan's Heroes. maybe don't Google him.
Yeah,
but is in Hogan's Heroes for sure.
Yeah.
And that's where I knew him from. My dad was a huge Hogan's Heroes fan.
I like Hogan's Heroes.
I love Hogan's Heroes.
I watched a lot of like classic TV growing up.
It's very
influenced
funny.
a lot of my tastes.
I will say as a quick side note, I don't know if it'll ever make it on the show, but I really love and think autofocus is very sick.
Sure.
Yeah,
we've talked about it.
I don't know if it'll make it on the show. Maybe season 3 or 4.
Yeah. Just a side.
Yes.
Again, for me to just we can't gloss over this.
We can't.
Another thing I'm a big fan of, which is probably problematic, but
sure.
I fucking love Jesse.
You are fined
I fucking love that guy.
Yeah.
My
Like in real life or in the movies?
like okay. he used to host this show. It was either like Fact or Faked or something like that, or something along those lines. That my buddy and I used to watch like religiously, and he would go through like conspiracy. It wasn't Fact or Faked. It was. I think it was just conspiracy theory with Jesse Ventura. Or something.
Yeah.
My buddy and I would watch that religiously and just die laughing. He did this awesome bit.
Were lasers involved?
It's no. My favorite one was I won't go on too much of a tangent here, but this is big for me.
Yeah.
He did an episode on 9/11.
Oh,
okay, and he goes to like
I think I've seen clips from.
and
that.
he goes to the like where they hold like all like a bunch of the like evidence of things,
Sure.
right? And it's like a public thing that you can enter, and he goes like after hours, okay, and he's trying to open the door, and he's just like, why won't they let us in? What are they trying to hide from us? And it's like clearly the hours are listed on the door, and it's clearly later than that. Like if he just goes at a normal time, they'll let him see it. You know. And it's also like if it was like a private archive, why would they let Jesse Ventura in the first place? You know, all of these things. And I
was in Predator, dude.
Yeah,
let me in.
My buddy and I was in The Running Man. my buddy and I used to just watch that particular episode over and over again and
amazing.
Just holler at that. And he's so they're trying to keep us out. They won't let us in. And so I needed to I was texting you about Jesse Ventura when I was watching it, but it was big for me.
The director is named Paul Michael Glaser or Glasser. Yeah. Mainly a TV director, OG Starsky and Hutch, Miami Vice, obviously the original. Also directed a movie called Kazam.
Really?
With Shaquille O'Neal.
Yes.
And kind of just did some TV stuff after like didn't really do much after that.
That's so funny. Kazam.
That's wild. The same guy directed this and Kazam. This is also an era, not just with we were talking about the one-liners, but also Arnold usually at this point has to be proving that he's very strong, which means usually in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the movie, he's got to be carrying something very large. Mm-hmm. In this particular film, it is a beam. He's carrying a beam, a very large beam. In other films, like Commando, for example, he's carrying a very large tree.
Yes.
So there's usually
Commando also very sick.
Very sick. In Total Recall, he is jackhammering in his. The biceps. The biceps are ginormous. Usually trying, carrying something or doing something to prove how.
Predator, he's carrying a lot of stuff.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, that and I mean we mentioned it in the Demolition Man part of things that they're like Sylvester Stallone kind of makes a little dig at Arnold in this movie or in Demolition Man.
Oh yeah, get into this.
And I thought. Right now would be a perfect time to kind of go through the little run. I love runs. We both love runs of either filmmakers or actors. And this is a really interesting. This particular time, 1987, is a really interesting time because Arnold is on his way up.
Yes.
Right. And, there had just been Terminator in 84, and he's on the rise. Even though him and Stallone are almost the same age. Stallone got started in his late 20s, essentially, early 30s with Rocky. So he had Rocky, he had all the acclaim of Rocky, and
an Oscar?
And 2 Rambos and an Oscar before 1987. So Arnold is just starting, and Sylvester actually is going to be on the downswing. And so we'll kind of see where that cross was. And there was a pretty big rivalry between the two of them.
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
Which do you prefer?
It's really hard, dude. I don't
I have an answer.
For me, I don't know, man. Like, I would take, this is a perfect thing. So let's do this. The Arnold run from 87 to 97 is Predator, The Running Man. He does that in 2 years, in those 2 films in the same year. Then he does Red Heat and Twins in 88.
I love Twins.
So you can kind of see a pattern of what he was doing.
Yeah.
Total Recall and Kindergarten Cop in 1990. T2 in 91. It's over at this point. It's now just purely over. In terms of Arnold is the guy.
Yeah.
He does Last Action Hero in 93, which is actually the same year as Demolition Man. Has a lot of similar things
I love
Last Action Hero. It's very tongue in cheek also, and has some references to Sylvester Stallone in the movie.
Yeah.
True Lies and Junior in 94, Eraser and Jingle All the Way in 96, and Batman and Robin in 97. Say what you want about the quality of some of the
No,
films,
that's a good run. That's an absolutely good
but in
run.
terms of box office popularity, whatever, that
A
10
lot of
years,
those are pretty good, too.
unbelievable. Like, some of those are all-time, 5-star classics. Now, Sylvester's run, starting in 87, Over the Top, which has kind of been reclaimed and is sick, but at the time is what it is. Rambo 3 in 88. Lockup and Tango and Cash in 89.
Lockup is so sick.
Rocky 5 in 90. And at this point, it's basically over. The rivalry is essentially over, in my opinion, in terms of box office and popularity. But he does a movie called Oscar in 1991, which no one has seen.
No.
He does the infamous Stop or My Mom Will Shoot in 1992. So just if you just compare, say, that little year there, 92, 91, 92, Arnold has T2 and Last Action Hero and True Lies and Junior in those little 3 years. And Sylvester Stallone is doing Oscar and Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. Cliffhanger and Demolition Man. So he's starting to kind of get some mojo back. Yeah. He does The Specialist, which was a movie that exists. Yeah. Judge Dredd and Assassins. Personally, love Assassins. I
love Judge Dredd too.
Love Judge Dredd. Daylight in 96, and then Copland and The Good Life in 97. Essentially, it's it's over.
So you're taking Arnold?
So here's the thing. There's a lot of Arnold movies that I think are genuinely unbelievably great. I don't know if it has anything to do with him. As an actor,
he's
now
in the most respectful way.
In the most
possible,
respectful,
he's kind of a piece of meat in those movies.
100% he is. However, Terminator 2, 5-star classics. I love Last Action Hero, and he is important to Terminator, because he is Terminator.
Yeah, of course.
However, he's not acting in those movies. So for me, when I look at I don't know,
an acting point of view,
it's Sylvester.
It's still, for me, it's
he
Stallone, and it's not close.
Yes. So you have to go back. He has a longer run. So if you go past this is Arnold's peak. He after 97, essentially it's over. Forever. He doesn't really get anything back. Pops up in a few things. He did Maggie. That movie's really good. He's acting. He's not.
Forgot about that.
With Arnold, he gets into the expendable stuff, but that he only does that because of Stallone. Yeah. Stallone and him do Escape Plan together, a couple of those movies together. They're all cool with each other now and blah, blah, blah. It's all good. Really, Sylvester's run from essentially Rocky to what he did with like it.
He's a great filmmaker.
He's a great filmmaker. He's a great writer. Like when he's doing the things
Rocky's
right.
a perfect script,
and it is, and the longevity.
Yeah.
So yeah, he may not have had a great, we'll say, 89, 90 to 97, 98.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden he pops up in Spy Kids. All of a sudden, he goes back to the well with Rocky and just does Rocky which is actually, in my opinion,
Rocky
really
Balboa.
good. Rocky Balboa, sorry.
Yeah.
And
it is. It's very good.
It's really good.
He's even good in Creed.
He's great in Creed.
Yeah.
So then he has the Creed thing. Then he goes back to the well again for for Rambo. That's unbelievable. Like,
oh yeah, just Rambo. That movie's
now the last one is terrible.
I didn't see it.
It's very bad.
What is it called? Last Blood or Final Blood?
Last Blood. We looked it up.
And we still
can't remember it. Like Rambo is so sick.
Yeah,
like,
there might be a Rambo episode. Dude, Rambo 3 and Rambo.
It's very good.
Yeah.
And then he builds on that and does the whole Expendables thing and kind of rejuvenates all those guys' careers, right? So I just think longevity-wise, I would choose and sort of I don't know quality, but like the quality of acting, I would say, writing, producing,
I think
the way of putting things together. Now he has a ton of stinkers, right? He does. He has a ton of stinkers. So I don't know. It's an interesting thing, but in this particular 10 years, it wasn't even close. Arnold was just essentially, and Running Man is the beginning of this. Running Man and Predator kind of kick things off. Obviously, Terminator was a thing, but Terminator introduced us to him in a way that he wasn't the star of the movie necessarily. He became the star of the movie because of the one line and because of his presence. Predator is his movie. Running Man is his movie.
I'm sorry, Predator is Jesse the Body Ventura's movie.
It's not. I hate to inform you. He's awesome in it.
It's Shane Black's movie.
But yeah, for this run, Arnold's run here, it's really Arnold that just takes over from. He literally can't miss. He does a movie called Twins with Danny DeVito, and it makes like a $200 million. Like,
it's awesome.
He can't lose at the box office. But as all things do, they come to an end, and all of a sudden you're doing Batman and Robin, and it doesn't go as well. But I just thought this is a really interesting piece of history from an action movie standpoint, from 87 to 97, and both the films that we did today fit into that. So I thought that was interesting. Now, this film, I'll ask you this, okay? What is this film actually about? Like, what is the movie about?
I mean, it's about a dystopian, or a kind of fascist government.
Yeah.
And their hold over people and entertainment.
And they use TV.
TV.
Yeah.
TV violence.
Yep. Absolutely. Where I was getting to is there's a reason why we chose this movie other than there's a new one coming out, is like essentially
it pairs very well with Demolition Man.
And it's essentially the same plot, like story. There's
to an extent, in terms of the bigger elements.
If I said to you, there's a cop and he's been put in jail, wrongfully accused, right, and then he has to get out, and then there's also, or he gets out and then has to do something, and that something is also helping an underground revolutionary movement take over the fascist government that rules, and both of them are set in the future. Both of those things happen in both these movies, right? Now, one uses TV, and I'll have to ask you, dude, like, okay, which is your favorite guy? Which is your favorite guy?
Stalker.
Dude,
that's the exact question I wrote down for you. I think I know yours. Can you guess mine?
I mean, I
okay,
don't
wait.
know.
Can I? I think yours is Sub-Zero.
Dude, Sub-Zero is so sick.
Is it? Is that your favorite?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to guess mine?
I wrote down what yours would be.
I hope you're right. I really hope you're right.
I picked Dynamo
yes,
for you.
Yeah, Dynamo.
I literally wrote it down. Dynamo.
100% Dynamo.
And then I put dash opera singer.
Yes, dude. Look at I. This is not good radio, but look at my note. Who is your favorite stalker? Dynamo.
Yeah.
And then I wrote, because while he's doing his opera bit, he lights up a sign and it just says "clap if you love." And I was like,
this is why this movie's sick,
because like
dude.
in another minute it's gonna say clap if you love Dynamo, but just the clap if you love got me so good.
So I knew
his suit looks like a shitty Halloween version of like the first Tron movie
that like someone used like
Christmas
lights to like.
And he's not wearing pants.
He's not wearing.
He doesn't wear pants.
I'm like, dude, I obviously we both thought of the same question, but I was like, I would, if I was a betting man, I would put money. This is his. Yeah.
I texted you this, but I can't get over it.
Yeah.
He's not just Sub-Zero. He's Professor Sub-Zero.
He is Professor
and
Sub-Zero.
I don't know if you saw my Letterboxd review because I think you were on the radio at the time.
Yep.
But I wrote, I really need to know what he's a professor of.
Yeah,
because
it would be great.
is he like teaching economics by day and like hacking up convicts with a razor blade hockey stick at night? Like, is that what's happening?
Dude, you know what's so sick is when he uses the guy as a puck and then the
net,
and then the net closes on him.
To me, I'm just gonna say it. It's the sickest scene in the movie.
It's so sick, dude.
Like the whole elaborate hockey arena.
Yeah.
Like,
it's also
you know what's
so,
really funny
so
too,
80s, dude. It's
because
so
they
80s.
they pick the stalker.
Yeah.
Like after they already go into the arena.
Yes.
But it's set up perfectly for Sub-Zero.
Yeah. Yeah, because that would take so much setup.
Yeah,
dude.
like it's they knew already Sub-Zero will be in tonight.
I mean, we'll get in. I guess we can do it now.
Let's just do it. Let's just
like what's like your. I mean, it's in my Letterboxd review too. But like here is Sub-Zero, now just plain zero.
Now just plain zero.
Now think about that line. Like, so you just take out the sub.
Yeah,
like it doesn't make any
He's
sense.
just zero.
He's just zero now. It's my favorite. My favorite one-liner.
I think I wrote.
He was a real pain in the neck is great.
Yeah, that one's good.
He had to split.
Yeah.
What a hothead.
What a hothead was the one that really got, because I remember watching it just going, come on. Come on, dude.
Yeah, it's really I
actually do
really
think
funny,
my favorite is Plain Zero.
Yeah, because it's my favorite one-liner for sure.
Really dumb. There's a few lines that like other people give in the movie, like the old lady going like, I can choose whoever the fuck I want, or whatever motherfucker I want.
I think she drops the motherfucker.
She does drop motherfucker. I just don't remember what the exact line is, but
it's so good.
It's
dude.
so good.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's a similar moment to the "fuck you, lady" in Demolition Man.
Demolition Man.
Because it's just like somebody you don't expect to be swearing.
You know what I really appreciate about this movie too is that they spend a little time. Like, you could tell they're on a budget here.
Yeah.
If you start looking or thinking about like the practicality of shooting the movie, most of the movie's in a TV studio and then
perfect.
on a set.
Yeah.
It's
perfect.
But you still, like, because they did a little bit of work setting just enough setting up the world, where he's like, okay, they have the, he's a convict and he's got to escape from there and do the thing and get his freedom and blah, blah, blah. And there's enough work there that they did to set up the world that you kind of know. But then once they've set it up, they kind of just leave it. And it's really clever filmmaking because then you're just like, literally the whole movie is just the episode of The Running Man.
Yeah.
And they kind of go, and then anytime that it kind of
I will say, I think it takes a little long to get into it.
It you could be right, but I'm saying that like once it's there, it doesn't really go anywhere else. Like, no. I mean, it kind of does, but really it just stays in the episode. And the other thing too is that they use that really nicely because this movie is nice and tight. Like it's very like it's like an hour 40 minutes maybe.
I think
it anytime it goes it uses up all its humor on one side. It can cut back to the other thing. It's like, okay, there's Arnold's one-liner. Okay, now we can cut back to the TV studio. And the TV studio has their thing, and then we can cut back to them.
So
and the
many
thing.
prizes, giveaways.
The prize giveaways.
I love whenever they ask somebody who they choose. They're like, I can't choose.
I don't know which one.
I'm so nervous.
We have so many favorites.
I can't decide between Dynamo and Buzzsaw.
And
he goes, well, how about both of them? And then the crowd just goes nuts. Or
yeah.
the betting, all the people betting.
The betting stuff is great. I mean, what a banger of a credit song. Really love the credit. Like, I just was sitting there.
I did this. I sat there, listened to the whole thing.
So did I. Speaking of, I thought, I don't know if you want to say how you watched this film, but I just thought I'd mention it. I actually watched this film on VHS. Mm-hmm. I will say this. It really was surprising to me how much of a quality difference there are in different companies that made VHS. Mm-hmm. And you kind of know this if you know anything about sort of physical media or VHS and stuff. But, once it got into, the sort of flood of the video market, there was just people just running off copies on copies and doing EP mode versus SP mode and doing, there's a lot of transfers that don't look good. Mm-hmm. There is a company, however, called Vestron that, bar none, like every time you put in a Vestron tape,
I have a few.
They look incredible.
They do.
They did, and this movie, like I can play this on a little TV, a little CRT. I could play this on a bigger, 30-inch or 40-inch. Could play it through all these converters into a 4K television. It's not even built for it.
And it still looks good.
Nice. And you can definitely tell, like, one of the easiest ways without even knowing anything about sort of that technology is the weight of the tape. Vestron tapes are very heavy. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of tape in the actual VHS tape itself. There's a lot of tape, and it actually makes the tape heavy. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the ways you can be like, okay, this is like, they really spent some time here putting this to this format, right? And so, anyways, I just want to mention that I watched this on VHS, and it actually was a very enjoyable VHS watching experience.
Nice.
I would actually say that I've seen, and even recently have watched DVDs that I've put in my 4K player and watched it on my 4K television that looked worse than this VHS version.
I have a few of those. There's some DVDs that are really rough out there.
Really rough. So anyways, I don't know what format you watched it on, but
I watched it on a 720p rip off the internet.
That's sick, dude.
Because I searched so I don't have a DVD of this or anything. Yeah. And then I searched every streaming service on planet Earth. I could have rented it for $5, and I thought about it, and I was
not doing it.
Why would I do that?
Not a Tubi special. This is a Tubi special.
Dude, I
man.
looked at Tubi first.
Of course. But Tubi, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Pick up Running Man.
Yeah,
especially now. If they just picked it up,
they might.
Because that'd be really smart.
Yeah, Tubi, listen to us, sponsor us, and take our advice. No, but it looked fine. I could have. There was a 4K version available, and I almost downloaded. But then I was like,
4K version.
And then I just went. I absolutely do not need that. The 720p version will download so fast.
Yeah, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, I looked at it and I considered it, and then I went, I'm not doing it because it was also late when I started it.
Right. We can definitely, you and I can definitely agree. I think for us, the sickest scene here is definitely Sub-Zero. I think we said that.
I just want to give, on that note, I just want to give, for me, this whole movie and everything that's sick about it is the stalkers.
The stalkers are the best part. Absolutely.
I wish there was more of them.
Absolutely.
All the ones in there are awesome. Is it Fireball? Is that his name? The fire he shoots is this weird red color.
Yeah.
And it's so...
Buzzsaw, dude.
Buzzsaw. Big shout out to Dynamo's car. I wanted to... Buzzsaw's motorcycle is cool. Dynamo's car is so awesome. It's the worst vehicle I've ever seen in my life. And he's going through a bombed out terrain. And that thing is so... And of course he flips over.
Of course.
And also... Huge respect that he doesn't kill Dynamo there. He kills him later.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sub-Zero scene.
Yeah, it's probably the sickest.
It's probably the best.
So this movie's sick. We're going to get out of here.
Yeah. We've taken up so much of your time.
So much of your time. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Sick Flicks. We will give you a little hint for our next episode, so maybe you can watch a couple of the films before... or both films before the episode. We will be doing, we were on trains, and now we're going to go to planes.
It's going to be Passenger 57, which is that's the first one, which is very big for us. That's the movie that I said, it's one of the reasons this show exists.
It's so good. And then we're going to pair it with another sick plane movie.
Yes.
No, it's not going to be Air Force One.
No.
Okay? It's not going to be Turbulence.
No.
It's not going to be, I'm trying to think of
Snakes
another.
on a Plane.
Snakes on a Plane. Not going to be Snakes
It's
on
not
a
going to
Plane.
be Airplane.
Not going to be Airplane, though. Airplane's fun.
Airplane is fun. I like Snakes on a Plane.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if we would do an episode
I wouldn't
on it,
do an
though.
episode on it, but I like it.
We could pair it with Snakes on a Train. and
Yeah.
we do, but that's still,
No,
that's not.
It's
That's like
it's worse than Snakes on a
that's
Plane.
like season 11 of this show.
Yeah, that's where we're really scraping the bottom.
We're gonna pair it with Executive Decision.
Yes.
So we're gonna get on some planes.
That's going to be one you don't want to miss because we will
Yeah.
be very excited to talk about those movies.
Okay, well that's it for us for episode 2 of Sick Flicks. I'm Mike,
I'm Dalton.
and we'll see you on the next episode.